Hey vinyl friends and vinyl community, it's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records, and this is another installment of Vinyl Editions, our second for this week. And why two this week? Well, it's a holiday weekend here in the United States. It's Memorial Day weekend, and that means a lot of people may be out of town or spending time with their families. So, in order to get in a new episode of Vinyl Editions, I figured I might as well do it before the holiday hits. So stick around, and when you come back, I have about 7 or so records here that I'd like to share with you that are recent additions to my collection. So I said 7, I meant 8 additions to my vinyl collection here as I counted in the break. But as we saw last time, we had a big 99-cent record sale at my local record store, and I picked up 20 records there. But I also walked away with 2 other records. So I'm going to show you those 2 records that I got from that purchase, as well as some other that have come in the mail recently, and I'm really excited to share with you. So the first of the 2 albums. Now, I have been getting into artists that I probably typically wouldn't have gotten into beforehand because of my vinyl collecting. And one of the things that I talk about in my latest podcast, which is available on iTunes and everything else, is the fact that if it's worth the price or if it's a low price, I will tend to pick it up, especially if I know a song or 2 off of it. You know, a couple bucks here and there, I will pick it up and add it to my collection. And that has introduced me to a lot of artists, such as Carly Simon, who I found I really, really enjoy, that I didn't know I would like before that. One of those artists I knew I liked, but never really got into collecting her albums, and that is Dolly Parton. So I've been collecting slowly some of her albums, and you can get them at reasonable prices everywhere and in really good shape. So one of the albums I picked up this past weekend at the 99-cent sale was this Dolly Parton album. This is called All I Can Do, and it's from 1976. And it's a really fun album. I don't think any of the songs on this album ever really became major hits for Dolly Parton, but in all, I really enjoyed this album. There's a couple songs on here that probably could have been left off, but overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good album from Dolly, and you just can't get over her voice. Her voice is amazing. So Dolly Parton, All I Can Do is the first album that I picked up that wasn't part of the 99-cent sale this last weekend. The second album is also Dolly Parton, and this one more people will know. This is a more famous song album because of the title track. This is 9 to 5 and Odd Jobs. So everybody knows the song Workin' 9 to 5 that Dolly did. It was part of, I believe, the Working Girl movie that she was in. That song also is on this album, Working Girl. So this was a fun pickup. I really enjoyed this one as well. Again, not a 99-cent album, but a pretty good price on it, and so I had to pick it up. So Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 and Odd Jobs. A real fun listen, a great Dolly album. This is from 1980. So very cool. The next album I want to show you is an artist that I took a chance on. I heard a lot of good things from people online and through some of my vinyl community clubs that I'm part of on Facebook. And I thought I'd give it a chance. So I picked up her latest album, and I showed that to you in a previous edition of this series. And I liked it a lot, so I decided to go ahead and pick up her second album, or one of her other albums, the previous album to it. This is Jenny Lewis's album, The Voyager. This is the one previous to the more current album that just came out. But I really, really, really like this album. This is great. If you're into kind of folky songwriting pop, I know that kind of sounds weird, but think of a folk song made pop and a great songwriting artist. This is a great, great artist to get into. So check out Jenny Lewis, especially if you stream. Check out her album streaming because I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's a really, really good album. One thing I thought was kind of interesting, I got this from Amazon. Cool stuff in there. I got this from Amazon, and I thought it was weird. So I've heard a lot of people say that they've gotten things from Amazon and they don't put them in boxes. And I thought that was really weird. I'd never had that happen to me before until this one. And you can see we've got some bending on the cover here. But what they did is it was in its cellophane, so it was still sealed and stuff, but they slapped a shipping sticker right on the cover and shipped it that way. Now, I get that they use their own shipping service for this delivery, but what the heck? Like, who ships an album like that? That is beyond ridiculous. So I was quite surprised when this arrived and it had no packaging and a sticker sitting on the cover. I mean, ridiculous, Amazon. Get it together. That's not a way to ship a product. But anyway, good album. I highly recommend Jenny Lewis if you're into that singer-songwriter type style. Very poppy, very good. The next album I got was one of those albums on Amazon that I purchased because the price was unbeatable. And it was out of stock at the time, so I knew right away that I was going to have to wait for the stock to arrive and before it would come. And I think it was about three and a half weeks I was into the wait when they emailed me asking if I still was interested in waiting for the album, which of course I said, absolutely no big deal. I'll wait as long as it takes to get that price. And so I set the thing to yes, I'll still wait. And it was like 2 or 3 days later when I got a notification that it was shipping anyway. So not like I had to wait too long. But this is En Vogue Funky Divas. This is great. This has You're Never Gonna Get My Love on it, and it has Free Your Mind on it. 2 big songs from the 90s. This was right before I really got hard into the heavy metal scene, and grunge and everything took over. This was the pop at the time, and I'm a sucker for late 80s, early 90s pop, and this fits the bill perfectly. Great little album, En Vogue, Funky Divas. It was on sale from Amazon. I couldn't pass it up. This is the 25th anniversary edition. Just kind of fun to have in the collection. The next album is a fantastic compilation from an artist that everybody these days knows who is. Of course, he's a judge on the hit TV series The Voice, and he has crossed from a country artist to a bro country artist, back to a country artist, and whatever. I'm talking about Blake Shelton. I picked up this album. This is Loaded, the best of Blake Shelton. Really good compilation of his stuff pre-bro country era. It's got Old Red, it's got Austin, it's got Some Beach on there. Just fantastic stuff from this guy. I really enjoyed his old stuff. I still enjoy some of his newer stuff as well, but this is the heart of what Blake Shelton was to country music fans before all that kind of weird stuff took over and the machine took over the songwriting of everything. So Blake Shelton's Loaded. It's a 2 LP set, gatefold. Very good, very fun. If you like Blake Shelton, I had this on CD. It popped up on Amazon for dirt cheap. I picked it up. I'm not sad about that one bit. A couple used records are next here. I picked up for good prices. The first one is this album here by Cream. This is called Goodbye Cream. It is a live album, and it contains, I believe, stuff from their final tour before the band actually broke up. So aptly titled Goodbye Cream. Fantastic band, Ginger Baker, Eric Clapton, 2 phenomenal artists. I'm not a big live album fan. There are only a few live albums that I really enjoy listening to from time to time. I do like some, but not a lot. This is a decent album. I didn't need it, but for the price, I decided to pick it up because I do love Cream. I love their studio albums, Wheels of Fire, Disraeli Gears, Fresh Cream. Great albums. So I figured, why not get this? And the price was right. The cover's not in the best shape in the world. However, the albums are in pretty decent shape. So they clean up nicely and play really well. So Cream, Goodbye Cream. This next one I picked up because of one song in particular. And it's a cool version of the song. It's an acoustic version of a song that's really famous. I'm talking about Simon & Garfunkel's Wednesday Morning 3 a.m. This has an acoustic version of The Sound of Silence on it that is absolutely fantastic. So if you're a fan of The Sound of Silence, seek this out. I think this cost me like $2 or $3, so it's not like it's an expensive album to pursue, but really fun version of Sound of Silence on it, and that's really the only reason I picked this up. The rest of the album is fine. It's Simon and Garfunkel, and it's, good songwriting and whatnot, but they're not really my bag of tea per se, but I do love The Sound of Silence, and I love a lot of their other big hits. So I do have this and a Bridge Over Troubled Water album as well. So very cool. The last one I want to show you is one that I've been sorely missing from my catalog. This is one of my favorite albums by the Beatles, and for some reason I just couldn't find it for a decent price in what I wanted. I really wanted a mono pressing of this album, but unfortunately there are not a lot of mono pressings out there. I could buy one from Amazon, but I didn't want to, so I ended up picking this up locally, and it's the Beatles Revolver album. Just a fantastic Beatles album. This is the remaster stereo version, so not the mono like I wanted, but it'll still be good. I haven't opened it yet. I'm probably going to end up playing it this weekend over Memorial Day. Really excited to listen to it though, and for some reason it just has eluded me this whole time. I haven't had it in my catalog, and I had to rectify that. So I had a couple extra bucks, went to the local store, they had it sitting there. I just picked it up. I had to have it. So the Beatles Revolver is the last one I want to show you for this edition of Vinyl Editions. So that's it. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, anything you want to see from my catalog, I can highlight artists if you're interested in anything like that. I've got some of my favorite albums I can pull out. I might do an episode on that. But I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. You can follow me on social media. I'm at Brian's Vinyl Rec on Twitter, Brian's Vinyl Records on Facebook, Instagram, and of course here on YouTube as well. And I also have a webpage, briansvinylrecords.com, where I also have links to some pre-orders. If you're interested in vinyl record pre-orders through Amazon, I have links to all the pre-orders. It's a good way to look and see what is coming out anyway. Even if you don't want to order from Amazon, you can see what albums are coming out and when on that page. So please go ahead and check that out. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. So thanks again for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Take some time to remember those you loved who have passed on, especially our servicemen and women, but especially those who are near and dear to your heart. My family has a really rough time during this time of year because we lost my brother when he was 17 years old during this weekend, and so it just happens to be a little harder time. So we get together, we have a good barbecue where I'm looking forward to that, and we'll have some time to spend as a family. I hope you have some time to spend as a family and remember some of the loved ones that you might have lost as well. Have a great weekend. Thank you once again, and don't forget to keep spinning, vinyl friends.